two things are new for you in the process. If you follow the cursor, process by which one diploid eukaryotic cell divides to generate four haploid daughter cells. So question is there, कि what is the meaning of diploid and what is the meaning of haploid? First of all, I will tell you the meaning of diploid. Diploid means the cells in which chromosomes are in pair in the form of homologous pairs. If you keep in your mind the mitosis, I have told you in the center of the nucleus, when chromatins are condensed, they make homologous pairs. So when they make homologous pairs, that condition is called diploid. But when there is a meiosis, in meiosis, in this process we also discuss the difference between mitosis and meiosis. In mitosis we have studied when cell is divided, the number of chromosomes never change, they remain same. For example, if in the mother cell there are two pair of chromosomes, so when cell will be divided, the two daughter cells will also have two pairs of chromosomes. But meiosis is different, where if for example if in the mother cell there are 10 chromosomes, so when there is meiosis and when it convert into two daughter cells, it will become haploid, means the number of chromosomes will be reduced, means two daughter cells will contain five chromosomes in each cells. So this is called a the haploid condition. So in simple words, we can say what is the meiosis? Actually, meiosis is the what we can say the meiosis. It is means the half of the number of chromosome, and chromosomes are not in the form of pairs. meiosis में number of chromosomes जो हैं वो half हो जाते हैं and they are not in the form of pairs, और वो pairs की form में नहीं होते. Now, meaning of the meiosis. The word meiosis comes from the Greek word meion, meaning to make smaller, since it results in a reduction in chromosome numbers. What is the meaning of meiosis? Meiosis, the word comes from a Greek word meion, meaning to make smaller. So, the definition of meiosis is that it results in a reduction in chromosomes number, कि इसमें chromosomes numbers की reduction होती है, यानी कि number of chromosomes mother cells से half हो जाते हैं. Okay, discovery of meiosis. Meiosis was discovered by meiosis was discovered by and described for the first time in 1876 by a German biologist, Oscar Hardwick. Oscar Hardwick, you have to underline it. This is important for MCQs. First of all, he discovered the meiosis. Okay. Now, meiosis. What is the process of meiosis? Meiosis is like mitosis. As you studied mitosis, it consists of two stages: interphase, and then it further divided into interphase, in which they have G1, G1, G0, and G2 stages. So in meiosis, the preparatory steps of meiosis are identical to the interphase of mitosis. Interphase is divided into the same three phases. In meiosis, it is also divided like mitosis in three phases, and they are G1, S phase, and G2 phase. So interphase stage of the meiosis is the same like the mitosis, but we also study it is a second difference. When mitosis is happened, then after interphase stage, mitosis goes into four parts: prophase, metaphase, telophase, and anaphase. But when meiosis is starting division. Then meiosis divided into two stages, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. So in this, meiosis 1 is a complex and it takes a long time, and meiosis 2 is the same like a mitosis stages. So first we will discuss about the meiosis 1. Okay, what is a meiosis 1? In meiosis 1, the homologous chromosomes in a diploid cell separates, and so two haploid daughter cells are produced. As I told you, for example, in the center of the cell there are two pair of homologous chromosomes. It means there are total number of four chromosomes. So when they convert into two daughter cells, each cell get two chromosomes in them, means the reduction of the chromosomes. It is the step in meiosis that generates genetic variation. So due to that, genetic variations are produced. Variations means the different consequences are produced. So meiosis 1 also occurs in two steps. Like mitosis, it is also occurs in two steps, and they are, if you see on the book, kerokinesis and cytokinesis. Kerokinesis means the division of nucleus, and the cytokinesis means the division of cytoplasm. The kerokinesis of meiosis 1 is subdivided into two phases. Subdivided into prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, and telophase 1. I hope you understand it. When meiosis is starting, it is divided into two big stages, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. When we talk about meiosis 1, it is a long period. Then meiosis 1 is further divided into two stages like mitosis, kerokinesis, and cytokinesis. And first we have studied, then nucleus is divided, so the kerokinesis in meiosis 1 further divided into four stages: prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, and telophase 1. So now we will first discuss the prophase 1. Okay, what is the prophase 1? Like mitosis, this is the similarity between mitosis and meiosis. Prophase 1 is the Prophase 1 is the largest phase in meiosis. We also discussed in mitosis, prophase stage is the largest phase. In meiosis 1, prophase is also the longest phase in meiosis. During this stage, what is happened? Chromatin are condensed. Chromatin are condense. As we have discussed before, chromatins in chapter number 4, that chromatins are invisible during interphase stage, but when they have to divide, they are condensed and convert into chromosomes. So during this say chromatin condense into chromosomes, they are condensed, means they are viscous into chromosomes. The homologous chromosomes line up with each other, and the homologous chromosomes, if you observe the diagram, look at the diagram, you can better understand with the help of a diagram. If you see, these are two pair of homologous chromosomes. This is the two pair, these are pink, they are shown by different color, and these are one pair of blue chromosomes. Okay, so and they all have sister chromatids. This is number 1, this is number 2, this is number 3, and this is number 4. So when meiosis 1 is started, they are condensed and they are first converted in the form of chromosomes, and they make a homologous pair. You can see there are two pink chromosomes, and there are two blue chromosomes, and they are called homologous chromosomes. So they are condensed and make homologous chromosomes, and they line up each other and form pairs by a process called synapses. Now you can see they both are joined to each other. This is blue, this is pink, they both are joined to each other. So when they are joined, this process is called synapses. Its definition is very important, you have to underline in your book. This process is called synapse. When two pair of homologous chromosomes are joined to each other, this process is called synapses. And these are in the form of bivalent. Bivalent means this is a one pair and this is a one pair. So they are bivalent pair. So this process is called synapses. And you can also see they all have sister chromatids. Pink have one and two, and there is blue. It has a three and four. These are four sister chromatids which are joined to the pair of homochromosomes. Okay. Now the next point is that each pair of homologous chromosome is said to be a bivalent. Each bivalent has four chromatids, so it may also be called a tetrad because they have four chromatids. I have told you one, two, 3 and 4, so they are called tetrad. uh, we also know, okay, if there is something is in a single form, we call it monovalent. If it is in a pair, we call it bivalent. If it is in a three parts, we call it trivalent. But if it is in a four part, because they are four chromatids, so it is called tetrad. Okay, next point is the chiasmata formation during synapses. If you observe the diagram, the second part of the diagram, this is called a chiasmata. This is, we are discussing about the prophase one, chiasmata of chromatids 2 and 3. If you see the diagram, here are, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. Now which will be joined? 2 and 3 means this one 2 and this one 3, and 1 and 4 will be in an aligned position. So you can see here, this is number 1, this is number 4, they are in a straight position, and here is number 2 chromatid, and this is a number 3 chromatid. They are crossing to each other. You can see they are joining to each other. In the center, they are joining to each other. So you can also see the diagram. This is number 2 and this is number 3. So number 2 and number 3, when they are joined to each other, this process is called, this is called a crossing over process. This is called a crossing over, means they are exchanging their characteristic to each other, and because of that the genetic variations are produced among them. Crossing over, if you see your book, the non-sister chromatids of homologous chromosome exchange their segments, and the phenomena is known as crossing over. This definition is also very important. Crossing over, you can see this is number 2 chromosome and this is number 3 chromosome, and they are exchanging their uh, gametes. You can also see they are exchanging their gametes. So this process is called crossing over. The exchange of segments results in the recombination of genetic information, and because of that they are exchanging their segments. So because of that their characteristics are going to be exchanged. uh, so this phenomena was observed by an American genetics Thomas Hunt Morgan in 1911 in fruit fly. If you see the sidewalks on your book, this information is also given, that this crossing over process was first discussed by a genetics Thomas Hunt Morgan in 1911 in fruit fly. So other changes also happened in prophase 1. You can see the next diagram. If you see the diagram, uh, this is a complete segment of crossing over. You can see the half part is pink, then there is a half part is blue, and then they are making a homologous pair. These are two pairs, And here you can also see that there is a half part is blue, and there is a pink, and they are making a pair of chromosomes. So here is a crossing over is completed. It is occurred. It is completed. Then come to the next part. What is happened? Okay, chromosomes condense further. Here are chromosomes again condensed. You can see they are more visible in this stage. They are more visible in this stage. They are further condensed. The nuclei disappear. Definitely nuclei is around the nucleus, so it is disappear totally. Then the nuclear develop disintegrates, and definitely the nuclear envelope which is around the nucleus, it will be completely burst, it will be completely vanished, disappear. And centrioles which were duplicate during interphase migrate to the two poles and form spindle fibers. And we also discuss again and again that centrioles are produced in the center of the nucleus, which help to pull the chromophores towards their poles. So these centrioles are make duplicated, and they make spindle fibers. The kinetochore spindle fibers attach to the kinetochore of chromosomes, and two kinetochore spindle fibers attach with a pair of chromosomes. So two kinetochore are attached with the spindle fibers. So I hope you understand it. This is and now the prophase 1 is completed. Now come to the next stage. Come to the next stage, metaphase 1. Metaphase 1, this is a short time period in which metaphase 1, you can see in metaphase 1, metaphors, the pair of homologous chromosomes aligned along equatorial plane forming the metaphase place. Definitely they come in a position, they come into a align, they become straight. Then anaphase come, kinetochore spindle fibers shorten. क्या हो जाते हैं? वो छोटे हो जाते हैं, and it result in pulling apart the chromosomes of each pair. So when they become shorter, they pull the chromosomes to each other. Since one chromosome is pulled towards one pole, so two haploid sets are formed. Two haploid sets are formed. Each chromosome will contain a pair of sister chromatids. And the last one, telophase. You can see in telophase 1, chromosomes arrive at the poles. When they arrive at the pole, each pole now has half the members of chromosomes, but each chromosome still consists of a pair of chromatids. So the network is spindle fiber network is disappear, and nuclear envelope is formed around each haploid chromosome, and nuclei break into chromatin. uh, can also now the one is completed. Now you can see I the heading cytokinesis. In mitosis, you also study about the um, um, mitosis further divided into kerokinesis and cytokinesis. Kerokinesis further divided into four stages. So like that, meiosis also divided into kerokinesis and cytokinesis. In kerokinesis, it is divided into prophase 1, prophase 2, prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, and telophase 1. Now we will discuss cytokinesis. Cytokinesis, definitely it is happen in meiosis. Cytokinesis in plant cell is the same like mitosis in pinching of the cell membrane in animal cells, or the formation of the cell wall in plant cells. It is same like a mitosis when the animal cell is going to be divided, so its cell membrane will be pinched, and when a plant cell will be divided, so it will form a plant cell wall and it will be divided. So occurs and the certain of two haploid daughter cells is completed. So two daughter cells were. So this is the cytokinesis. Cytokinesis in meiosis. This is the definition of cell, animal cell, and this is the definition of plant cell. So after when cytokinesis is happened, then after meiosis one, both haploid daughter cells enter a period of rest known as interkinesis or interphase. You also study in um, uh, or interphase 2. You also study in mitosis 1, okay, when G1, G0 or G2 phases stages are happen, that then cell goes into a G0 phase, G naught phase, in which they are in a resting position. So when meiosis 1 is completed, then cells go into a rest position. This resting position is called interphase 2 or interkinesis. The interphase 2 is different from the interphase of mitosis and meiosis 1. So this is different from mitosis and meiosis 1. What is different? There is no S phase, and so there is no duplication of chromosome during this stage. In mitosis, we have studied when there is a S phase, chromosomes make copies of themselves. But when there is a and meiosis 1, this is also, but when meiosis 2 is started, before meiosis 2 there is no S phase, means there is no duplication of chromosomes. Why there is no duplication of chromosomes? Answer is simple, because cell is divided into two parts. It has been divided into two parts, so it has no need of duplication of chromosomes. I will explain you this meiosis one according to the diagram. If you see meiosis one, this is the stage of meiosis one. Interphase stage, this is a stage in which cell is going to be ready to divide itself. You can see in the center there is a nucleus, and these all are chromatids and chromatins, and they are in not in the visible form, and there are centrosome around the nucleus. This is called the interphase stage, and they are prepared, so they are going to be condensed. They are going to be condensed. After that, you can see we also have discussed now prophase 1. This is the meiosis 1 and prophase 1. What is happening here? If you see the diagram, chromatin condensation and spindle formation. In the center, you can see that there are homologous pair of chromosomes. There are two pair of blue chromosomes, and there are two pair of pink chromosomes. So almost there are eight chromosomes in the center of the nucleus, and around the nucleus, these are centrosome who are making the spindle fibers. So these spindle fibers are very well, because they, when cell will be divided, when kerokinesis will be happen, so these spindle fibers will pull the chromosomes towards their poles. Okay, come to the next, prophase 1. Okay, bete, you can see the prophase 1. What is happened here? Chiasmata formation and crossing over. We also discuss in detail. They make the pairs. You can see it's a pair of blue chromosome. It's a pair of pink and blue, and pair they have making a pair, and they will crossing each other. Definitely, I have to. They have four chromatids. One, 2, 3, and 4. So 2 and 3, they will cross to each other. When they meet to each other, this process will be called a synapsis. In previous diagram, I have told you, they will make a synapsis process. They will join to, and they will cross to each other. So they convert some genetic variations to each other. They exchange genetic variations to each other. So you can also chiasmata formation is happen, and crossing over will be done in this stage. And the last stage after prophase, there is a metaphase one. You can see the spindle fibers are completely formed. Okay, and this is completely called a metaphase plate. If you see the diagram, this is completely called a metaphase plate. Okay, these spindle fibers, if you see the previous diagram, these are spindle fibers, and when they pull the chromosomes to each other, they make a complete metaphase plate. And you can also see that chromosomes in the form of pairs come in a line, and they are ready, and they will pull towards their poles, towards their poles. Okay, so this is called a formation of metaphase plate. Then come to anaphase 1. In this stage, you can see anaphase 1, you can see, first of all we can see that there is a crossing over is done, crossing over is done, crossing over is done, crossing over is done, and metaphase plate is going to be divided in the center, and the pairs are going towards their poles. This one is going from this side, this one going is from this pole, this one is going towards this pole, and this one is going towards this pole. So metaphase plays, these spindle fibers help to pull the chromosomes towards their poles. So the cell is, the nucleus of the cell is going to be divided from the center. So chiasmata break and chromosomes pulled. And the last stage, this is called telophase 1. You can see the nucleus is divided in the center completely, and two nucleus are formed. And you can also see the number of chromosomes are going to be half in meiosis. In first part we can see that these four chromosome and these four chromosome, they were together in one nucleus, there were eight chromosomes. But because this is meiosis, when nucleus is divided, so the number of chromosomes will be reduced. So in one cell there are four chromosomes, and in other cell there are also four chromosomes. Means it also has two pair of homologous chromosomes, and it also has two pair of homologous chromosomes. And you can also see the centrioles and centromeres are also going to be disappear. So here meiosis 1 is completed, and the a cell is divided into two daughter cells, and there is a reduction of chromosomes. uh, it is different from mitosis. When there is a mitosis, there is increase of sorry, the number of chromosomes remains same. But when there is a meiosis, the number of chromosomes remain reduced. So you can see that each daughter cell has haploid. Haploid means reduction number of chromosomes. Number of chromosomes. I hope you understand it. Now we will come to meiosis 2. I will explain you meiosis 2 with the help of diagram. It is the second part of the meiotic process, and in this part it is also similar to mitosis. It is also subdivided into four parts: prophase 2, if you see in your book, prophase 2, metaphase 2, then anaphase 2, then telophase 2, and telophase 2. So first we will discuss the prophase 2. Okay, what is happening in the prophase 2? If you see the diagram, prophase 2. So in the center there is a nucleus, and there is a two homologous pair of chromosomes, and you can also see the exchange of chromatids between the pair of chromosomes. And there are centrioles which help to make the spindle fibers, which help to pull the chromosomes to each other. So you can see prophase 2 take much less time as compared to prophase 1. Prophase 2, it takes less time, or in this prophase, the nuclei and the nuclear envelope disappear, and the chromatin condenses. Centrioles move to the polar regions and make spindle fibers. So you can see around the nucleus there is no nuclear envelope, and they are totally condensed and visible. and they are making crossing over to each other, and the centrioles are helping to make the spindle fibers. Then come to our next stage. This is called a metaphase 2. In metaphase 2, the chromosomes attach with the kinetochore spindle fiber and single at the equator of the cell. Now you can see one pair of pink chromosomes and one pair of blue chromosomes. They come to into a line position and they are attached with the kinetochore. Okay, and you can see in the center the metaphase plate is going to be break, and they are exchange their position. You can see in the diagram uh, pink and blue. They are exchanging their position through the spindle fibers mitotic plate. They will change their position, and then they will enter into the next stage, which is called the anaphase 2. Anaphase 2. Anaphase 2. In anaphase 2, you can see these pair of chromosomes, these are same. You can see above the diagram, it's a pair of pink chromosomes. So these pink chromosomes, they and there is a variation with blue chromosomes. They are pulling by spindle fibers towards their pole, and they are going to end in the center. The metaphase plate is also going to be break, and this is also happening in this side. You can also see that it's a blue pair, and they are going to and it's a pink pair, and they have exchanged the genetic variations with each other, and they are also going towards their poles. So this stage is going to an anaphase stage. Then we will come to the last stage. This is called a telophase stage. In telophase stage, uncoiling of chromosomes into chromatin. Yes, we can see the cell is divided into anaphase. This is a anaphase 2. You can see the cell is going to be divided into the center. The nucleus is divided, and you can see it has single pair. It has There are only two chromosomes. At the starting, we have seen there are two homologous pair of chromosomes in the nucleus, but when cell is going to be divided, then it is divided into one pair, means reduction of the chromosomes. So in each nucleus, two chromosomes are left, and they are not homologous. This is another different. When mitosis is happened, then same homo means same, homologous chromosome means same pair of chromosomes comes to the daughter cell, but this is a meiosis. So these chromosomes are not same, they are different, and their number is reduced. You can also see in the center there are four chromosomes, but when it is divided, so there are two chromosomes in each cell. They will come in each cell. So this is also a same situation here. You can see there is a same situation is here. Okay. uh, Now come to the telophase 2. Telophase 2. If you see the telophase 2, now these two daughter cells are completely divided. So two daughter cell is completely divided, and you can see in the center they have one pair of chromosome, but this is not a homologous. This is a heterozygous. They are different, and you can see कि uncoiling of chromosomes के जो chromosomes हमारे बाकी बच जाते हैं, they again going back to in the form of chromatin. You can see, so from one daughter cells, four daughter cells will be produced. So each daughter cell has haploid number of chromosomes. We also have seen in the center of nucleus, from the starting there were 8 chromosomes in the nucleus. But when meiosis 2 is done, then we can see that each daughter cell has two chromosomes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there is a reduction of chromosomes. Now question is that why reduction is important? Reduction is important because cell is already divided into mitosis. So it has no need of new cells. Okay, now come to the significance of meiosis. We will see the significance of meiosis. Significance of meiosis. Uh, uh, Significance means importance. Importance of meiosis. What why it is important? It is important for reproduction and inheritance. What described in 1980 by German biologist August Weismann. इसकी significance जो है, it was introduced by a scientist. His name was August Weismann. And what did he tell us? He told us that maintenance of chromosome, why it is important. He said that meiosis is necessary not only to maintain the number of chromosomes in the next step, but also to produce variations. He said why it is important. This is the first point. Maintenance of the chromosomes and number in next generation. It is important because it maintain the number of chromosomes. Then meiosis for sexual reproduction for eukaryotes. It helps into sexual reproduction, therefore occurs in all eukaryotes, including single celled organism reproduce sexually. Meiosis does not occur in prokaryotes which reproduce asexually by binary fission. This is a different thing for you. I have told you that reproduction has two types, sexual and asexual. In sexual reproduction, you need two parents, and asexual reproduction, there is only one parent. So asexual reproduction further can be divided into five parts. Among them, there is a one method which is called binary fission. Binary fission happened in prokaryotes. And what are prokaryotes? Prokaryotes are those which have only which have not true nucleus. So they can reproduce by themselves with the help of binary fission. So meiosis in humans. In human, diploid gamete mother cells or germline cells undergo meiosis to produce haploid gametes. Male and female gametes unite to form diploid zygote, which undergo repeatedly mitosis and develop into a new diploid human. Definitely, if you see, these all points are given in your book. Okay, what is happened? They go to the mitosis and gametes combine to reproduce diploid zygote. When there is a sexual reproduction, what is happened? In sexual reproduction, male and female gametes are combined to each other, and because of that, they produce a zygote, a new one. And the last one is the production of variation in next generation. Why it is important? So meiosis जो है, you can see the chromosome pairs of each parent undergo crossing over. We have discussed the crossing over process. During so daughter cells, gametes have genetic variation, definitely because they cross over their characteristics with each other. Meiosis has happened, and this meiosis allows a species to bring variations in the next generation. So beneficial variation help organism to adapt to the changes in environment. So I hope, I think you understand it. This is the importance of meiosis and errors in meiosis, and the further topic we will discuss in our next lecture. I will also give you the homework today. I hope you understand the meiosis 1 and meiosis 2 and the importance of meiosis. If you have any confusion, I am online. You can ask any question if you have any problem. Thank you.